Stephen Kinnock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to declare an interest also as a proud member of Community Union. Representing the South Wales constituency of Aberavon, which is steeped in the history of the trade union movement, you can imagine the strength of feeling and the amount of correspondence I'm receiving in opposition to this unjust and vindictive bill. What is needed now is a cultural change in Britain's industrial relations, a move away from the Punch and Judy style that has evolved thanks to legislation such as that we are discussing today. There's an urgent need to move, for example, towards more collective bargaining across the economy, which would have a direct and positive impact on productivity, something that this government claims to be campaigning for passionately. Regrettably, this bill will neither change the culture nor increase productivity. It will instead lead to the entrenching of the them versus us culture that is bad for workers, bad for employers, bad for customers, bad for business and bad for the public at large. Mr. Speaker, I would like to draw the House's attention in particular to the sections in this bill that deal with picketing. The fact is that the honourable members opposite have failed completely to demonstrate why the picketing provisions in this bill are necessary or justified. And the government's own Regulatory Policy Committee concluded that the BIS impact assessment on picketing restrictions was not fit for purpose, and that no full impact assessment of the bill has been published. Under these new provisions, trade union pickets will be subject to levels of police scrutiny and controls that go far beyond what is fair or necessary. These changes in the bill will also, most importantly, be a waste of police time. And this was an issue raised by the National Police Chiefs Council and the Police Federation in their oral evidence to the Bill Committee. Steve White from the Police Federation said, and I quote, "We are finding it extremely challenging to cope with day-to-day policing with the current resource levels, and the likelihood is that they are going to be squeezed even more if there is an increased requirement for police involvement around the policing of industrial disputes. That would become even more challenging." Mr. Speaker, I understand that the party opposite are friends and supporters of the police. I hope that they will listen carefully to point taken.
Can we give way on that point?
I will indeed.
I thank my honourable friend. In a world when we have senior police officers warning that neighbourhood policing is indeed in threat, is it right then we use the police force resources in this way to further affect the civil liberties of trade unions and their members?
I agree entirely with my honourable friend. We hear a lot from the benches opposite about smart government, about using resources in the way that they should be resourced, deployed according to priorities. Does anybody in this House honestly believe that using police resources on this particular matter is a good use of those stretched resources? I think not. Mr. Speaker, the digital age has brought a revolution in the world of work, which on the one hand has thrown up a number of questions, but at the same time offers employers, trade unions and government alike a once-in-a-generation opportunity to work in partnership, a chance to shape a framework that provides the blend of flexibility and security that this new reality requires. If all parties were to seize this opportunity, then we could potentially see the green shoots of a 21st century industrial relations culture, which would in turn enable the development of a labour market that is fit for purpose and resilient in this new age. Let us not waste that opportunity with an adversarial and counterproductive piece of legislation like this bill.
Yeah. Oh.